Good morning, you beautiful beings. My name's Andrew. This is the cafe. Thank you for joining me. Today we're making a little bit of breakfast. So let's go ahead and hop into the kitchen. Alright, so almost everybody likes, or at the very least can tolerate, eggs. The thing about eggs is they can be made into both sweet and savory dishes. They're a very healthy choice for almost any meal of the day, especially when you're making breakfast. Alright, so one important thing for you to know about this meal as I'm making it is that I'm currently practicing what is known as a keto diet, or putting my body into ketosis. Essentially what this is, we're taking one fuel source, completely restricting it, you're not allowed to have any of it, and only using the other. In this case, it's carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are found in just about anything that you eat if you're not looking for them. They're in your crackers, they're in your chips, they're in your milk, they're in your sodas. Sugar, anything with sugar in it, whether it's natural or additive. Fruits have it. Veggies have it. Carbohydrates are everywhere, and they are important for our body. However, as first world countries, whether you're in America, Canada, any country that is located inside of Europe, Asia, we eat enough every single day for the most part that we don't need all of these extra carbs to fuel our body, and they end up getting stored as body fat. And the thing is, morbid obesity and that, into extreme measures where you see people like on 600-Pound Life on Lifetime TV or wherever the hell that channel is. You see those people, and that is one of the leading causes of death in America today. I believe it is actually the #1 cause of death in all of America. Now, you can look at me and you can tell that I'm not super overweight, but I do carry what is very oftenly known as a beer gut. Everything looks fine, except for like right down here, and it's just flopping over my belt. Now, I'm not real fat, but I have about 20 pounds of excess weight that I need to get rid of, and where summer's coming up, I would like to look a little bit nicer. So we're going to be doing this. A great way to explain this is like a hybrid car. Nowadays, this is not how hybrid cars work, at least not all of them, but in the past, hybrid cars would use one source of energy until it ran out and then start using the other source of energy. So you use that entire battery and then you go onto your backup gasoline, or you use all your gasoline and you go on to your backup battery. Basically, you're taking one of these fuel sources, say gasoline. I don't want to pay for gas anymore. You get rid of it. So now you're only using the battery located inside of the vehicle. So you're restricting everything. So in our case, we're restricting carbohydrates so that we burn fat. Pretty simple to understand. Now, we're going to get into the process of preparing this, so we're going to need some ingredients. So let's get to that.
Okay, so for me personally, I think omelets require 5 core ingredients. Eggs, obviously, cheese, protein, veggies, in this case, yes, tomatoes are a fruit, don't you even start saying things in my comments, and a type of oil, or in my case, butter. Also a plate, because while maybe from the backwoods West Virginia, I'm not uncivilized. Next up is our cheese and protein. We're going to need a way to measure our ingredients and accurately measure our calories and our primary were carbs. I did use a scale as well as a couple of measuring cups to do this. Now, I will say that I made a huge mess with the cheese in this case before even starting the filming, and now I have cheese all over my light bag because I had no other black backdrop to use. So my girlfriend would say, it's quite cheesy how cheap it is.
Alright, so we've got all of our food ready, as you can see here. It's beautiful, it's ready. Just so you know, I did show green onion earlier in this, and then when I want to go ahead and chop it, it turns out that it wasn't quite ready yet and is still very, very tough. Basically inedible, like I couldn't chew it. So we got our eggs beaten here, we got our cheese, bacon, a little bit of butter, as well as our tomatoes. So we're going to go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn on our pan. This is kind of a small pan. Our utensils are not the greatest here in this case. But it's what I have to work with, so I'm doing my best. Now, for me, I like adding my butter rather than using oil whenever it comes to eggs. I think it adds a nice flavor to it. If I am doing a fried egg, however, I like to add a little bit of olive oil to get that nice crisp edge around it. Personal preference. That is for anybody to choose however you would like to. Now, we're done with this butter, so I'm going to set it off to our done side of things. I believe I was leaking eggs around. Yes, I did. Some of my egg leaked onto the stove, or actually onto my counter here.
While I'm cleaning up this mess, I'm going to take a second to do a little bit of self-promotion here. If you're interested in joining me live, I actually stream at twitch.tv/coffeeandcafe around 3 days a week. Due to having a job, times are always changing, so I can't say what days they'll be. So if you would like, go ahead and follow me on Instagram to know when I'm going live. I announce it here on YouTube as well, but Instagram gives you the ability to know when new videos are coming out, when I'm doing live streams as well, like I already said. some of my photography, as well as another thing that I'm excited for. I'll be announcing a new podcast coming out here pretty soon. I'm not sure what the subject of the entire series of this thing is going to be, but I'm very excited to start it and have already been working on some scripts and researching a couple of different topics. I'll be announcing it on Instagram as well as a video here on YouTube, so make sure to hit the follow button and subscribe. Also, if you're enjoying the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up.
Anyway, though, so what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to add our eggs. Now, I like to cook my stuff on a nice low heat. Ah, yes. This pan is perfect. Alright, so I went ahead, I cleaned off my fork, got my bowl over there washed off, just to stay cleaned up while we're proceeding through things. I filmed this video yesterday. It was nothing like this. It was just like almost a product shoot of what I was doing. And so I used 2 jumbo eggs in that case. And this is 2 large eggs, and the 2 large eggs fit into this one a little bit nicer than the jumbo did. Jumbos would have been way too much for this, so using the large ones made this a little bit easier. I prefer using jumbo eggs if they are available to me just for the protein in them, and as well as they're a little bit more filling because there's more egg, obviously. But we're going to let this kind of sit up a little bit, and we're then going to add our cheese. Now, I might have too much cheese here. I'm not going to lie. There might be too much cheese here. This may turn into an awful disaster and mess. I have no intentions of this being a good video. But this is going to go on top of this. It actually looks like it's already setting up enough. I like using cheddar cheese for my omelets. The primary reason for this is cheddar cheese is very melty and very creamy. Even when you take this off the heat, it's still going to be a little bit creamy. And adding this now while the egg is still a little liquidy on top is going to allow the cheese to kind of morph into the egg itself. Also, I'm telling you all this stuff, you probably already know how to make an omelet. You're just watching this because why not? It popped up on your feed, you followed the channel, you know me through other sources, you're like, why am I watching this guy? Yeah, he didn't tell me nothing new. But yeah, I'm going to add all this cheese. Yeah, this is plenty. This is good. I did this the other day, and I did, rather than half a cup of cheese, I did a whole cup of cheese. I'm also getting cheese down here where it's not supposed to be at. Okay. But I did a whole cup of cheese, and it turned into a huge mess. It tasted great. Horrendous mess, though. So yeah, I like using the cheddar cheese. It makes a very nice creamy egg as well. Another thing that you can do with the egg to make it a little bit more creamy is to actually add butter to it when you mix it. Just keep mixing it until that butter kind of just disappears into it. Make it a little bit creamier. There is actually, I believe it's called Egg Slut. I'm not going to lie. But it's a company or food place called Egg Slut, and they make egg sandwiches, and that's how they do theirs. They add butter to it before they even start cooking it. And it makes it a very, very nice, flavorful egg. I've done the exact way that they make their eggs, and they are delicious. I might do that sometime if you are interested. I like cooking eggs, by the way. I don't like eggs that are just plain. I love cooking them, though. But what I'm going to do now is this is setting up pretty good. So I'm going to take my bacon here, and we're going to go ahead and spread it out on one half of our omelet. And then we're going to go ahead. I probably have too many tomatoes here, to be honest. Add a few tomatoes into this. I might have just the right amount. By the way, this plate's not going to go to waste. Our omelet's going to go right back onto this plate. So I need a spatula to get this off. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use this fork here to kind of separate around the edges. Let's see here. This might look like a pretty good starting point right here. So yesterday I made a perfect omelet. Today is not going to be quite the same case. So essentially what I had said before was I think I had too much cheese. 100% accurate. I have way too much cheese. in this. So the cheese is leaking out, not helping me at all here. But it's going to be a nice, cheesy, creamy omelet when this is said and done. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to shake this around a little bit, get you loosened up, and move this away from the edge and out more into the middle. And I am going to actually try and fold this a little bit more. You can see where the split right here, we got this ooze leaking out on us and everything else, which is no fun, but this isn't meant to look pretty. It's meant to be tasty and keto friendly, so this is not really, worrying me. Now we're going to flip the thing, which is when everything's going to really fall apart on us. You ready for this, everybody? You ready for this disaster? There it is. There's the disaster. We haven't given up and gone to making scrambled eggs yet, but man, it's not perfect. Yesterday, I made the jumbo egg omelet, and I'm going to actually go ahead and overlay that footage somewhere here, and it is the most perfect, beautiful omelet that I've ever made in my life. Never has any food whatsoever come so close to being that perfect. I'm also realizing that I forgot to save a little bit of cheese for myself, because I am all empty here. So usually I like to put cheese on top of it as soon as I take it off the heat. So I'm going to let this cook for just 1 second and grab my cheese, because this is pretty much ready to come off as of right this second. It's ready to come off of here. It's been cooked enough. I want to make sure that it doesn't get rubbery. Being rubbery is a bad thing. It's going to fall apart on us a little bit, which isn't surprising. Go ahead and do that. We're going to have to make sure we get every little good cheesy bit out of this. I'm going to sit that there, turn off our heat, and we're going to add a little bit of extra cheese here. That'll get nice and melty on top of this. Now, I was attempting to do a little bit of food photography yesterday, and like B-roll and stuff, for making this, and this looks terrible. It looks like a bad omelet, but I'm going to bet right now it's going to taste delicious. We have a few things going on with this omelet, outside of the fact that it looks like a dog vomited. We made sure that we cooked it at a low heat, so the eggs cooked fairly slow. So with doing that, that means that we're going to have a nice creamy omelet. This is going to be real tough and rubbery. If you want an example of a rubbery omelet, if you've ever eaten the scrambled eggs from McDonald's that are literally, they're like rubber. They don't look like food. They don't taste or have the texture of food. It's gross. That is exactly what a rubbery egg is. They're disgusting. In this case, it's going to be a little bit creamier. It's going to be a nice liquidy egg, but not quite to the extent of being like an egg yolk or an egg white, eating it raw. With the cherry tomatoes, which you can see we have one that's popped out right here. I can just hold this up to the camera real quick. Essentially with the cherry tomatoes, I like these a lot. I prefer cherry tomatoes for a lot of things over just using a regular tomato, and that is because with the cherry tomato, they're very acidic, much like a regular tomato, but they have a nice, sweet, juicy side to them. They have a very good kick to them that adds a lot of flavor to everything else. Obviously, we have bacon. I use bacon bits in this case. They have, I bought almost all this food comes from Aldi's with the exclusion of the eggs. The eggs are actually farm raised, they're farm eggs. They're not from a market or anything. I didn't buy these at Walmart. I have a coworker who actually has several chickens, and she gives me fresh eggs every couple of weeks, and that's what I use to make this. The cheddar cheese I prefer just due to the fact that it is very creamy. Cheddar cheese is really great and for that. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and switch back over to the table over there. I'll be right back with you all. And this is our mangled, distraught of an omelet that we've just created. So I do want to say that this is my go-to breakfast. No matter what day of the week it is, or what I'm doing, whether I'm going to work, I'm filming, if I'm back there doing twitch.tv streaming, or whatever the hell it is, this is how I start my morning most days. Eggs, bacon, tomatoes, sometimes vegetables. It depends what I have available to me. In this case, I don't have any veggies that I really like or that I think could work well with what I'm doing, so I'm going to be using tomatoes here, as well as, of course, cheese. This is my go-to thing. It takes about 15 minutes to make at most. I know where everything in my fridge is. I grab it. I measure it. I don't even need to use the... Where is it? Here it is. My little weight thing half the time. This is just kind of here. For one, is as a prop, and two, for things that I'm not already aware of. In this case, I make this so often, I know exactly how much is what. So, obviously, I'm not good at making it, because it's always a disaster. This is how it usually turns out. But it's delicious. It's a great thing for me to eat in the morning. It sticks along my diet, and at the end of the day, it's healthy and great fuel for my body.
Alright, thank you for watching that video. I very much appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button. If you want to see more of me and get more time hanging out with me and seeing my content, feel free to follow me on twitch.tv/coffeeowlcafe, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and also keep an open ear for me announcing my next podcast, or my new podcast to be honest. And I didn't record an ending to that previous thing. I don't know why I didn't. I just forgot to finish up a recording for it. So again, thank you very much. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button. And I'll see you around next time for the next video. It's me, Andrew, signing off and saying goodbye. Bye.